Three blind mice. Three blind mice. See how they run. See how they run. They all ran after the farmer's wife, who cut off their tails with a carving knife. Did you ever see such a sight in your life as three blind mice? Hello, hello, hello. It's your girl again, back here at Nouveau, and we are returning after a 2-week break. So just like how I said the last time, some weeks we might do something, some weeks we might do a little bit of that, maybe we do a little bit of this, some weeks we might not do anything at all. And that's exactly what happened in these past 2 weeks. We took a little bit of a break. But I'm always active on Instagram, so please feel free to follow and subscribe to my accounts, my social accounts, which will definitely be in the link below. But getting to what we are doing today. Today we are looking at niche books and Nouveau stories. And this is something that I'm so excited about because I absolutely love reading. I've always been someone who prefers reading over watching or listening. I can't get behind audiobooks. I think audiobooks are really nice if you're someone who is working and you just want like kind of white noise in the background. But if you're someone like me who prefers to sit down and actually read and see the words and see what it is that you are, listening to, then this video is definitely for you. So for today, I decided to choose a topic that I am super passionate about, which is books, stories, reading, writing, etc. And that is all topics that I plan to cover during this week. So, I want to look at different websites for new writers so that they can expose their writing. I want to look at websites where you can find books, PDFs of books, I also want to speak about if you are searching for a job as a writer. So maybe copywriting, maybe creative writing, maybe ghostwriting, etc. So this week is something that I'm really super passionate about, the topics that we are going to focus on. And what I decided to do was to compile a list of different books that I think would be really interesting to read. I think these books would be something that everyone would get something from in terms of knowledge, information. Maybe you are looking for information to apply and use in something else. Maybe you just want to have, something to read. So if that is the case, then I think that this is definitely for you. So for today, we are looking at 4 different types of books. We are looking at the Encyclopedia of the Weird and Wonderful. We are looking at a kiddies book, which I'm actually really excited about. Looky little one on the farm. We are also going to be looking at a little bit of African American literature, so Up Home. And from one of my absolute favorite authors, someone whose writing I've always admired, Chuck Palahniuk. Not forever, but for now. As this video continues, I'm pretty sure I'm going to find a way to pronounce that surname different every single time. So the first book that we have on our list today is the Encyclopedia of the Weird and Wonderful, and this is a book that was authored by someone by the name of Milo Rossi. From what I understand, he is a famous YouTuber and TikToker because most of his content is educational, but unfortunately I've never really heard of him and I've never really seen his content, so I can't really, say much about him as a person or as a content creator. But I am assuming that, if he has made and published a book, his stuff is obviously good. So, that's cool. But with this book, the Encyclopedia of the Weird and Wonderful, firstly, the encyclopedia, that word alone is something that draws me to this book, because if we want to think about what the word encyclopedia means, basically for me, it's literally a book of information. Because if we were to define the word encyclopedia, we can define it as a book or set of books giving information on many subjects or on many aspects of one subject, and typically arranged alphabetically. So this book literally covers information from prehistory, ancient Egypt, the Industrial Revolution, etc. And so I managed to find a sample of the book, and I think that we should just give it a read just to kind of see what it is I mean when I say that this book is just giving you some really interesting, weird, and wonderful facts. So let's see what we have here. Champagne. Champagne. Oh my God, so uncivilized. But champagne of the sea. So I'm reading off my phone because unfortunately I didn't have time to print this out. I couldn't print out my notes. So champagne of the sea, humankind holds champagne in high regard. For most people, it is a treat used to celebrate a wedding, graduation, New Year, or other milestone. The delicate flavor and delightful bubbles make it unlike many other alcoholic drinks, solidifying it as a mainstay amongst the ranks of humanity's iconic beverages. So, in one paragraph alone, we can see how it's already exposing us to information about champagne that we didn't necessarily know. Because to be honest, I didn't think that champagne was such an important drink, especially in comparison to some other iconic beverages. Like, I would expect tequila to trump champagne. But I also know that champagne, people make cocktails, mimosas. I mean, who doesn't love a mimosa? So coming back to this book, and especially after reading that short piece from the book, just to give you an idea of what to actually expect, that is just one piece of information that I read from this book. And, this book is made up of 256 pages. So there is so much more information that you can learn from this book. Because like I say, it's got some really, really intriguing and, entertaining, interesting facts from a lot of different periods within history. So, like I said, ancient Egypt, the Industrial Revolution, here we're speaking about champagne. So I'm assuming that, this paragraph is discussing how champagne was actually founded, made, thought of, etc. And the other nice thing about this book is that it comes in both Kindle and paperback versions. So you do not have to just sit and think, okay, now I'm going to have to order this hardcover book and that be the end of it. If you want to download it on your Kindle, you can do that. The only thing that puts me off about this book is the fact that you have to pre-order it right now. So it's not officially released, but it is available for pre-order. So, you can go on Amazon, you can purchase it, either Kindle or paperback, and when the book is officially released, you'll definitely be getting it. So check this out. Link is in bio, and yeah. So the second book on our list today is this kiddie's book, Looky Little One on the Farm. And I had to include this because I think by now we've established that I just like adorable things. Like, I think adorable things are just always things that are worth investing in, worth buying, worth purchasing, just worth having around, like, in general. So this book definitely made this list today. And the thing about this book, the reason why, is obviously, okay, it is for kids. That's a given. But it is an interactive book. So what do I mean by interactive books? Basically, interactive books are books that are much more engaging because it requires participation from the readers. So it might have some kind of activity or some kind of question that a reader will either have to complete, or a reader will either have to think about, or something like that, Another reason why I decided to add this, and I think this goes back to me being a English teacher in my past life, when I had students who were of younger ages, so early learners, let's say from maybe 6 until maybe 13, let's say in that age group, 6, 7 to 13, 14, right? Those are usually the ages where you really, really need to keep those kids engaged. You need to find ways to keep them engaged, but also keep them entertained. And interactive books are usually very, very good for that because, not only is the child having a learning experience, but they are also just having fun. So let's just have a look at this, what they mean by interactive. Right? Just to give you an example. So if we look here, this is just one of the activities that I think come from this book, Looky Looky Little One on the Farm. And it's super cute. I mean, look at these little tractors, these little sheepies, horses, etc. And here it says, do you spot the small horse? Small horse, okay. Yes, I found him. Small horse, so cute. Oh, and here's another question. Can you find the sheep wearing yellow boots? Yellow boots? Yes, here we go. That's so cute. Like, come on. Right. I just included the second one because I thought this was also super, super cute. Look at this little car with the little hearts on it and the sun and the little piggy. Oh, can you find 2 roosters colored blue? Here's one. Yay, cock-a-doodle-doo. Here's another one. Cock-a-doodle-doo. This is adorable. This is absolutely adorable. I'm in love with this. But now coming back to this book. So this book, it was authored by Sandra Maximum. I guess Maximum. Interesting surname, but yes, that lady. And this book is part of a book series which is made up of 13 different books. So that's also the nice thing if you're planning to give this, for a birthday gift for someone who has a baby, or just even if you're going for a baby shower. This is also a really cool gift to give. And the nice thing is, it's not just like this one book. It is part of a book series. So if that parent finds that their child is responding positively to this book, then they can go back and like get other books within the series. So I think that's what also makes this really cool. It's appropriate for reading ages 1 to 2 years of age. So, your toddlers. But I'm sure that if you do have a child who's younger in age, maybe the pictures would be, the pictures and the colors would be really stimulating for them. So maybe that's, something to think about. And of course, it is available in Kindle and a board book. So a board book is, those kiddie books that's kind of like in the shape of a square. It's a little bit hard. So that's basically a board book. But yeah, I love kitty stuff. I love kitty books. I love kitty videos. I love all of the kitty stuff. I think it's super, super cute. And I think just from these few snippets, just from these few little pictures, you can kind of see what to expect. It is a book that's worth buying if you are someone who really emphasizes reading and education in your home. So check this out. Link is in bio. So the next book on our list today is Up Home, One Girl's Journey, and it is authored by Ruth J. Simmons. And when I was doing research about this book and about this author, someone actually described this book as being a love letter to all the people in her past. Because in this book, basically what we see is this girl, she is kind of revisiting memories of her past, and she's revisiting memories of people who kind of played a role in influencing the woman that she has become today. So this book is really a tearjerker. Like, it is also a book that I feel you have to be very emotionally ready for and prepared for, because it is a really, really beautiful book. And I think the fact that it's revisiting her past and also revisiting all the people that she had in her life, it kind of says something about the role models that a child has in their life and how those role models can impact who they become in their future. So I'm going to read a piece from this book, just so that we can actually see the actual writing and the way in which the author presents what she is trying to present. Okay? So, To be born in an environment in which one is legally designated subhuman is a defining experience. Constant assertions that one is less deserving of basic human and civil rights can become deeply ingrained, dominating one's self-image and blocking the will to pursue ambitious goals or express one's true identity. I've frequently been told by whites that blacks have a chip on their shoulder. They often say this as if it's ridiculous to have been marked deeply by the violation of one's human dignity and rights. It is true that ideally we should not permit even the most heinous circumstances to mar permanently the course of our thinking and our lives, but we should not forget that such an ideal is more a desirable goal than an easy accomplishment. Living one's life during and after the violation of one's humanity is a test and task that any would find challenging, and it can be, at the least, an arduous, lifelong pursuit. Beautiful. The way in which the author explains this and the author presents this idea to its readers, it's absolutely beautiful. It's very well written, or the way she paints the picture really puts the emotions that one feels in that situation into perspective. So it really is a beautiful read. And this author really has such a good way with words. And I think that if you are someone who enjoys books like this, it is a memoir. So to be honest, I'm not really a memoir or autobiography person. I think I'm more of a fiction person. But if you are someone who enjoys books like that, where it is written from a first person perspective, I think this book will definitely be a good read. So again, link is in bio. Please have a look at it. And I think this is also an enjoyable, but also something that really puts life into perspective and other people's lives. So for the last book on our list of niche books, Nouveau stories, I have got Not Forever But For Now, written by Chuck Palahniuk. I don't know, Chuck. Let's call him Chuck. I'm sure that when you see this name, you're probably wondering, who is this? Like, who is this guy and why does that name sound familiar? And the reason why that name sounds familiar is because of this. So I'm pretty sure that you know of Fight Club. I mean, who doesn't? So basically, this movie Fight Club with Brad Pitt and Edward Norton, this was based on a book. And this book, Fight Club, was written by none other than Chuck Palahniuk. What's Chuck's writing? What makes his writing so famous? And the reason why I decided to choose this book, not just because I'm a fan, but also because of his actual writing style. His writing style is very unique to him. And something that he uses a lot in his writing is repetition. So if you ever do read this book, Fight Club, something you'll see throughout the book is the repetition that the character, the main character goes through. And the symbolic thing behind the repetition is that, he'll repeat something, but with each repetition, it changes. It becomes a new sentence, it becomes a new word. And the reason why I like that is because it shows some kind of progression in the story, and it shows some kind of progression in the character's, journey. So I've always really liked Chuck for his writing and his writing style. And something else that I've always liked about him and his writing style is that it always has this sort of dark, horror-ish kind of undertone to it, mixed with a little bit of comedy and satire. I think that's something that's always been really cool about Chuck, is his actual style of writing. So with this book, Not Forever But For Now, this story specifically, it's a story about professional killers who are responsible for some of the most heinous crimes in humanity. And within the family, there are these two boys who are we see what these two boys have to go through in order to be eligible to take over as the head of the household. And with this, I thought that I would just read a short sample from it because I actually found this quite hilarious. And just the setting of this hilarious. So unmoved, I challenged her to quit us. The cake of soap floats in the water between my hairy knees, and I flick it with my fingers to make the soap spin and bob. My fingers toy with the hair on my chest. My hair is none of her beeswax. Mummy says being hairy is the Welsh in me. I tell Nanny to pack her bags and leave us if she finds her duties too arduous. But she need not ask for a reference. Perish the thought. Mummy would never write her a letter of introduction. If Nanny is to be of neither use nor ornament in this household, she had better hit the bricks and beg passerbys for her daily crust. Be gone, I tell her, or she'd best soak me up and get on with business. It's common knowledge that many people bath themselves. I can well learn to bath myself and zip my own zippers and even cut my own steak if need be. And that troubled look gets on Nanny's face, and her face falls to a whisper when she asks, is someone hurting you, Master Cecile? By now the water's gone pink with blood, and I splash her with pink water and tell her no, and call her Old Soul for good measure. You know that part where he says and call her an old soul for good measure? I love it. It cracks me up. I think I've read this like 3 times, and each time it's cracked me up. Call her old soul for good measure, because it's so relevant. Like, it's just something, someone's upsetting me and, I'm arguing with someone, I will always just, say something just to sprinkle some spice on the wound. Just to humble them, But I think from this reading, although we're not really seeing repetition, but we are actually seeing that horror, comedy, satire, because, this kid is in the bath, he's getting a bath from his nanny, and he's obviously bleeding, and, he's bleeding into the water, and instead of, answering her questions and trying to, calm her down, he's making the situation worse by flicking this bloody water onto her. Just for fun, and on top of that, still calling her old soul. So I think if you were once a fan of Fight Club and a fan of Chuck and his writing style, and if you are someone who enjoys, that harder satire, comedy, etc., then this book is definitely something that you should look into. So check it out, links in bio, and so this is the book list that I've compiled for us for this week. And I think the nice thing about this book list is the fact that it's so diverse, because if you're someone who is looking for interesting and unusual information that you never ever thought about, or you've never ever taken the time to Google, then definitely the encyclopedia book is the book for you. If you're someone who is trying to find something for younger readers, so kids, toddlers, babies, etc., then the Looky Here Little One on the Farm, that's definitely a good book, because like I mentioned, it is an interactive book. So not only is it entertaining, but it's also educational. If you're looking for a little bit more of thought-provoking content, and content that is really going to make you think and feel, like really elicit an emotion out of you, then our Up Home book really will pull at your heartstrings, because not only is it extremely well written, but the actual content of the book and the struggles that the main character went through, my god, like there's no words to even describe it. And my personal favorite, the book that honestly I think is definitely worth a read, especially because of how reputable the author is, Not Forever But For Now. Such a tongue twister. Not Forever But For Now, definitely a good book if you're looking for something that's a little bit more comical, if you're looking for something that's a little bit more satirical, and something that's a little bit more humorous. So please check out this list. The link is in the bio for the actual article itself on our website, www.nichenouveau.com. And also please check out my Instagram. I am much more active on Instagram than I am on YouTube. Unfortunately, I'm still trying to master YouTube, but I think I'm slowly getting there. But yeah, check it out.